Hello, everyone. It's Cari here, self-kindness coach. It's Family Day in Canada, and where I am, it's not too cold, but apparently tonight it's going to go right back to super wintry. So I hope you're all doing well today. Today, I thought because it's Family Day in Canada, we would talk about your weight and well-being journey and how family impacts it. One of the biggest things that makes family impact our weight loss or just general well-being and health efforts is that we need to know our priorities, right? So when we think about how we're going to schedule our days, we're always thinking, okay, well, what comes first? What comes first? And I know this is a mom thing, but I know it's true whether you have kids or not, whether you just have a really busy life, you have extended family, a really big friend group that you care about, whatever, right? The people in your life, the efforts of your life outside of your own well-being so often take priority. And our health efforts don't really progress unless we prioritize them. I mean, I think that's probably universal. Anything that you're doing just a little bit of whenever you have the perfect amount of time is not going to really progress. And for people who are on, let's say, a weight loss journey where they've struggled to feel good about themselves for a long time, putting themselves first in the priority list, feeling confident enough to say to their family, to their even their folks at work, like, hey, I'm not joining for the working through lunch today. I'm going to go for a walk or something like that. It takes a certain amount of confidence. It takes it takes some stuff to be able to assert your needs that way. And so that's what we're talking about today, is really how can you boost your confidence, your ability to prioritize your health efforts to the people in your life. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there today. It's similar to any holiday or weekend where a little bit of your time is your own. And when you think about, oh, I could fit in some meal planning, or I could fit in, learning about that new kind of exercise or something, right? Like there's so many different things. And then you think about, oh, but this person needs me, or if I say that that's what I'm going to do, my significant other might be like, why? What's the point? Or, you never know. You never know. But your internal voice can absolutely give you reasons not to prioritize it with the people in your life, even if those people in your life are actually very supportive. You might not even be giving them a chance to be supportive. So, how to do it, how to flip the script in your mind that makes you feel and believe that you're not allowed to prioritize your weight loss and health efforts. How to do it. It's a big one. It's a big one. So the first step is almost always, and in this case, 100% going to be awareness of what the pattern currently is. So even if you just take today, think about the choices that you've made for today. It's lunchtime already. Half of the day is gone. What led to the decisions that you made today? Did you include things related to what you need, what your mind needs, what your body needs, what your spirit needs? Did you include those? And if you did, awesome. Play out how did you make it happen? What were the supports and the structures and the mindset and everything that let you make it happen? Because that you have something repeatable, right? You did it today, you can do it another day. For a lot of you, you might be already feeling like a bit of a failure or something because you didn't make it happen. And you're not going to make it happen. Like you might be thinking, I'm not going to make it happen. Of course, the day could go any which way. You could still absolutely do things. But right now, for a lot of people, uh, you might be thinking, well, I didn't do it this morning. And so there's probably a lot of chance I'm not going to do it after this. So screw it. It's over. The whole day is lost. I didn't do the stuff. So you can turn that around. I had some pineapple this morning. Does pineapple give anybody else like a scratchy throat? It totally does for me. So anyway, sorry for my scratchy throat. Okay, so I am speaking to the folks who feel like they can't fit it in. They can't prioritize their health efforts in amongst all the busyness of their life. And for those of you that have family, I will speak to you directly first. So when you have family, if you're a parent, if you're, just part of a close-knit family-like unit where you're important and you tend to put others before yourself, which is a good thing, right? Like taking care of people, that's a good thing. But sacrificing your well-being, I think our society encourages that. It says, good people put their own needs aside. But the truth of the matter is, you do need to put your mask on first in the airplane, and in your health journey, you need to prioritize your well-being first so that you can have something to give. And not just the minimum. But when you take care of yourself, you actually have more than the minimum to give as well. So that whole mindset that's trying to tell you that being loving and caring and being a good person and being a good member of the household means sacrificing yourself, putting yourself last, it's a lie. It's a lie. It doesn't work. You get burnt out. Right now, you're probably feeling the impact of putting yourself last. Your level of stress is up here. You can never just take a really deep breath and say, like, okay, how am I going to show up for myself? Even a little bit. Like, these are not big things. A little bit today. How am I going to do that, right? And your stress systems, if they feel that it's getting worse and that your needs are getting ignored, that just makes all your stress systems stay on high alert. Whereas when you take little moments to prioritize yourself, to care for your well-being, the stress level comes down. And you can take a deep breath and you can think more clearly and so many things. So I'm just going to type into the chat. The question of today is, how hard is it for you to put your health first over family? That's the question. How hard is it? You know what is hard? You being so depleted that you have nothing to give. You being so stressed and so behind in your well-being efforts that you have not even a little bit to give. You have nothing. That's hard. That is really, really hard. And I've worked with a lot of folks who get to that point, and clawing their way back to a place of health and stability takes a lot more time and effort. I'm talking years, years. Whereas if you're at a place where your energy is okay, you're not prioritizing your health, you're kind of putting it as the last thing on the list, and you can feel the slide, right? You can feel, oh, my energy is kind of getting harder to bring up. My positive mindset is less common in my head. My grumpiness is more, my moodiness, my negativity, and so on. All of those things are increasing, and the things that are positive and balanced are harder to reach and harder to get to. But you can still bring it back way faster now than you could if you let it go all the way to burnout, which is what happens when we neglect ourselves for too long. The body and the mind just say, well, we tried. We tried to communicate. We tried to tell them what we needed, and they didn't listen, and they put us off and put us off and put us off. And now we're just stopping them completely, and we're making them stop and slow down and shut down. And that's burnout. So, how to prioritize? I keep asking the question, and then I keep going around the context. Okay, let's get right into it. How to prioritize starts with awareness. Where are you at in your ability to prioritize right now? And look at it without judgment. Just examine for today. Just today, how did it go? Think about your decision-making process from the first moment you woke up. It might have even been in place from the day before. What led you to the decisions to not prioritize your well-being today? Without judgment, right? We're not looking for blame. We're not looking for fault or anything. It's just like, I want to understand. Okay. So I woke up this morning. The to-do list of everything that I had to do was like right there, ready to assert itself. I had somebody that needed me. I was feeling kind of negative, so then I retreated into a book or something, right? Like think about the chain of events, thoughts, feelings, actions that led you to not fulfilling your best intentions for your own well-being today. And once you've identified it, without judgment, right? Because if you're just looking to make yourself feel worse, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. You have to look at it like you would look at who's having a hard time. And you would sit them down and say, okay, I can see that you're having a hard time. Let's figure this out, right? That's what you would do with them. You wouldn't just say, God, you're such a loser. Like, how come you can't do this? No. You'd say, okay, I can tell you're having a hard time. Let's lay this out together. Let's figure this out. So that's what you're doing for yourself. You're laying it out and saying, okay, how did we get here? Okay. I haven't prioritized even sharing my health efforts, my health goals with my family. Okay, why? What has led me to not sharing with them? Figure that out. I made an assumption this morning that there would be no time. There'd be no time for the little things that I needed to do for my well-being today. Okay. What was the assumption based on? Was it based on fact? Or was it based on opinion more than fact? A lot of times, our mind is reaching into the future that hasn't happened yet, and it's building assumptions on what it thinks is going to happen. And those assumptions are very, very often based on the worst case scenario of what could happen. Because the part of your mind that's doing this, it's kind of like the home of anxiety. Um, it's the part that's trying to protect you from the worst that can happen. So it's trying to imagine the worst and then mentally prepare you in this moment to handle that worst. But the truth is, that part of your mind, every part of your mind, cannot tell the future. And so borrowing worry from an imagined future and bringing it into this moment and limiting how you show up for yourself doesn't serve you. So instead, notice it. Go, oh, I'm doing that thing again where I'm imagining the future and then I'm assuming there won't be room for my health efforts. So then I'm believing that as truth, believing the assumption, which is based on nothing. Not nothing. It's usually based on what you feel you've already experienced, and you may very well have experienced, but there's always room for possibility in the future. So it's doing all of that, and then it's shutting down any of your actions where you try to prioritize your well-being into the busyness of the day. So when you notice that, you notice the pattern, you're like, oh, I'm doing that thing where I think I know the future, where that walk that I wanted to go on, there's going to be no time for it. So I'm already letting go of that idea today. Okay. You know what? In this moment, actually, what's more true? There might still be time. I will tell my family, hey guys, I had a goal of going for a walk today, and I really want to make that happen. I know we said we had to do this and we have to do that and all this stuff, but can you guys help me fit my walk in? Because I really want to do it, and I'd love you to join me, or right, whatever. But invite your family in to your health efforts rather than thinking you're only allowed to follow through on your weight loss and your health efforts if everything else perfectly moves aside and lets you do it. Right? Because it's not going to happen. It won't happen. So instead, invite your people in and let them help you make it happen. So it's not like they're necessarily your accountability partners. It's more like they're your support team, kind of. And I'm a big fan of also posting stuff on the fridge or something. So 3 p.m. mom goes for a walk, or if you have a family calendar, right? Put it in there. Show your family and say, I'm excited. I'm gonna check this one off today, and let them be part of it with you. And then if something comes up where somebody's like, oh, but I really need you for this or that, or whatever, you say, okay, how can we make them both happen? Because it's really important for me that I move my body because it helps me with stress. It helps me with so many things. And then another big area for people, especially on weight loss journeys, is food. Food in the house, where what food they might be eating isn't necessarily what the rest of the house is eating, and how to get the support and the structures that help you. Again, a lot of it comes down to giving yourself permission to have the goals you have, seeing the facts that you having that goal doesn't have to interfere with anybody else's habits, behaviors, likes and dislikes. There's room for both. And then inviting them in to supporting you on your choices. I had one client a long time ago who their spouse wasn't on a weight loss journey at all and kept bringing in like what used to be their favorite snacks. He'd think he was doing a good thing. Like, hey, I brought our favorite ice cream. I brought our whatever. And my client just kept kind of going, oh, okay, great. Like thinking, oh no, it's right there in the fridge or the freezer. I'm going to feel bad if I don't have some. I want some, but I'm really trying to like cut down on sugar or something, right? But the system of support wasn't there. So then she was just trying to manage all on her own. And what we did was worked on inviting her spouse into her efforts so that it's not like she blocked him out and said, I can't do any of those food habits or rituals that we used to do together. I'm blocking you out because I'm over here doing what I'm doing now. It was more like inviting him in. So saying, I can't remember how it exactly went, but she's like, you know that I'm really working on my health and I'm really trying to, feel better about how the food nourishes my body and all this stuff, right? And I can't have those things that you're bringing because they don't feel good in my body right now. You go ahead, but it would help me a lot if I didn't have to say no to you when you offer, because I feel bad. I don't want to say no to you. And it would also help me a lot if they weren't right in my face. And when he realized the impact of having it right in her face all the time and that she was feeling guilty that she had to say no to him when he was doing something, sweet and loving, and she didn't want to ever say no to something like that, but she kind of had to. He was like, oh my gosh, okay, I get it. And so then when he wanted to have something, he would have it kind of when she wasn't around or whatever. He brought her things that were still thoughtful, that they could still try together, but they were things that she could actually say yes to, right? So he didn't really change his own. She didn't become less of a loving spouse because she was doing something different. They made room for both. And that is what can happen when you start to become aware of like, oh, what am I assuming? What am I assuming there's no room for? What am I assuming that I'm not allowed to do? I can't give myself permission to do because of what the family will think or what the family needs. And how can I break down that assumption and apply facts instead? Apply facts. What are the facts? Does your family want you to feel better in your body? Almost assuredly, yes. Is there room in the day for small, kind actions that support your weight and your well-being? Almost assuredly, yes. Can you talk to your family? That's a big one. When you're talking to your family, pick something small that if you're not comfortable, like if you're like, oh, I think about saying this to my family and it makes me nervous. Okay, respect that. Start somewhere that feels comfortable. Find some area where it doesn't feel like such a big leap. to have a boundary and to invite your family into supporting that boundary. Find something small and work up from there. But know first that your well-being is absolutely essential to every person in your life. It's so important. You don't have family without you being well. Your family doesn't have the things that are important to them without you being well. So don't let your mind convince you that small, manageable efforts every day for your well-being shouldn't be a priority. Make sure you bring awareness to that. You reroute your whole system of thought that says, no, I can find 15 minutes today to pick a new recipe for later in the week. Yeah, I got time for that. I've got 10 minutes today to stretch out my shoulder that's still healing a little bit so that I can get back to my dance class. I've got time for that, right? Find the small, manageable, but incredibly supportive actions. Invite your family in to help you make it happen. And also know that there are supports out there to help you strengthen this. The Kindness Foundations program that will start again March 1st is exactly made for this. If you're hitting these boundaries and you have intentions and goals for your well-being, but you're struggling to follow through, our program is exactly built to help you strengthen all the systems within you and within your life so that you can follow through on the actions that your health needs. And you don't have to do it by yourself. We're here. We're absolutely here. So thank you so much for joining me today. It was a delight. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. And there's also going to be a live this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. So it's kind of a sample of the program. You're welcome to join and see what it's like. This is a new kind of support for a lot of people, so it's good to be able to have a sample. I hope to see you there, and may you have a beautiful, healthy, loving family day.